Welcome back everybody. Now, there have been a lot of rumors surrounding the upcoming The Last Jedi. Of course there have been. And there's supposed to be some type of The Empire Strikes Back big reveal like moment. A big twist. So one of the theories out there that seems to be getting some traction is, spoiler warning I guess, but only if it turns out to be true, which I have my doubts about, is Luke Skywalker is evil. We're not talking about he's jaded and disappointed with the Jedi Order teachings here, and that he's taken a grey Jedi approach to the interpretation of the Force, but rather it's been suggested that he's gone completely dark side and is even the main villain of this trilogy. In fact, Snoke is either his pawn or doesn't even exist. So where can you find this theory? Well, it's on 4chan, and that should immediately set off alarm bells to begin with. But I will leave a link down below for those interested and who want to take a look for themselves. Now, how does one come to such a conclusion? Well, we have this poster here. Rey's beam of light, or lightsaber if you prefer, turns from blue to red. Kylo Ren is a villain, everything is tinted red, and Luke looks very grumpy. His head is bigger than Kylo Ren's, it's also tinted red, so it must be a sign that he's a bigger villain than Kylo is. Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die back in Return of the Jedi, and he finally got his wish granted to him in The Force Awakens. So people are pointing out this interesting interview that Kevin Smith had with Mark Hamill back in 2005 when Revenge of the Sith was just released.
You look at the Hayden Christensen arc of the new trilogy, and see him like now he's obviously in Sith he goes full bore to the dark side. Yeah. And you and I talked about this once. Do you like sit there going like, man, in Return of the Jedi that should have been me. I should have been the dude.
I pitched that to George.
Did
totally,
you really?
Yeah.
So did you want to, in the last one in Jedi, just go nuts?
No, as an actor, that would be more fun to play. I just thought that's the way it was going. From when we finished 2, I figured that's what will be the pivotal moment. I'll have to come back, but it'll be like I'll have Han Solo in my crosshairs, and I'll be about to kill him, or about to kill the princess, or about to kill somebody that we care about. And, you know, it'll be, it's an old cornball movie, like World War II movies and stuff. And I was the one that said to George, because I live in Japan, I said I should come back having been trained somewhere with shaved widow's peak and a top knot, like a braid. He said, no, I want your hair to look exactly like it did in the other 2. Then of course, what do I see?
Anakin Skywalker got himself a braid, looking a little Asian and one.
So the theory is not completely baseless. If Harrison Ford got his wish granted about his character, well, maybe Mark Hamill did as well. Now, I thought that Luke was already tempted by the dark side back in Return of the Jedi. He rose to the occasion, redeemed his father, and became the quintessential hero in your classic hero adventure story arc. But this theory would suggest that he was eventually overcome by the dark side, or that he willingly gave himself over to the dark side to better understand both aspects of the Force, and eventually he might come back to the middle, finally finding balance. Also, supposedly Luke Skywalker massacred his own students at his academy, took off for Ahch-To, and Rey is in for a big surprise when Luke finally reveals himself when Kylo Ren storms the island and Luke ignites a red lightsaber. Now, as interesting as Luke going full on mentor sounds, and it would certainly fit in with the big twist that has been promised, I find this extremely unlikely. First of all, Snoke does not seem like he is in cahoots with Luke. It actually seems like he's fearful Luke will return. Before Rey turned up, Luke was probably his biggest concern in regards to somebody messing up his plans for domination. In the final scene of The Force Awakens, Luke doesn't seem angry or like he expected to see Rey. He looks remorseful, surprised that she's even there. He looks like some great tragedy has befallen upon him and that his spirits have been crushed. Not at all like he's pulling the strings of some great elaborate plan. At least that's my take on the scene. So obviously Disney is doing their own thing. But we also have this interview back in the day.
So loyal to George, and I owe him so much. He at one time said, would you consider playing an Obi-Wan type character handing Excalibur down to the next generation? I said, when would that be? And at the time he said around 2011. I thought, gee, as much as I'd like to have a job lined up at the turn of the century, I was figuring out how old I'd be at that point, and I thought, well, I don't know.
So Luke becoming the Obi-Wan-like figure to Rey seems like something they've decided to implement, even though George Lucas stated his ideas for this trilogy were basically ignored by Disney. So why would Luke train her then? For what purpose if he has turned to the dark side? He should just kill her before she becomes a threat to him. Is it so she can face Kylo Ren? Well, I'm sure Luke could kill him himself, no problem. Why would he need his student to do so? Is it to face Snoke? If he's in cahoots with Snoke, why would he want to replace Snoke, who's extremely wealthy and has great influence in the galaxy, with somebody who's basically a nobody? It's much more plausible he teaches Rey to defend herself from Kylo's attempts to turn her, or Snoke's attempts to turn her to the dark side, than it is to train her, just so he can M. Night Shyamalan us in the middle of the movie. I do believe Luke has had a crisis of faith, but I believe that Rey is there to pull him back into the light and to get him to rejoin the fight. I concur that Rey may very well be tempted by Snoke, depending on what he knows about her parents, but Luke being the main villain of this trilogy, I can't see it happening. At least that's my 2 cents on the topic. This channel has no insiders who have worked on the film, and at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. So what do you guys think? Luke be bad, or Luke just need a hug and some sunshine to get his spirits back up? Leave your thoughts down below. If you want to stay updated, hit that notification bell. And as always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, share, sub, and all that good stuff. And until next time, see yous.